Hi and welcome to another episode. What we've got here is a WHSmith computer program data recorder from so many years ago. It's also known as the CPD3800. A lot of people swear by these as being fantastic bits of kit, and they are when they're working. Now, I've cleaned this up before. I got it second hand. It was covered in dust and nicotine and blech. Anyway, I cleaned it down. It's been playing tapes fine for about a year or so now, but recently I've noticed that it was getting stuck so far into a tape it just couldn't quite shift the tape. So I've concluded that the rubber bands inside have gone decrepit and I need to replace them. So I bought these off of eBay, easily found. So I'm going to try to open this up and replace the rubber bands. I've never done this before, so let's go along the journey. First off, let's turn it over, see what we've got when it comes to screws. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. These big chunky rubber feet I think are third party, which is always a good idea though, to stick rubber feet on a tape deck. It stops it from making a lot of noise on the desk. So let's get into the first screw. And I'll jump back when I've undone them all. Okay, that's all the screws taken out. Let's see how easy it is to open. Not very by the looks of it. There you go, pop there. Lots of wonderful noises. And I think maybe I need to pop these sliders off. Yep, sorry. I'll just pull these sliders off. Does it come away now? What's it stuck on this time? It's really not wanting to come away. It's come away there. There we go. So it does come off relatively easy when you figure out that the sliders and buttons need to come off. Ugh. This is horrible in here. You see all that down there? All that dust and smoke and yeah. Right, so let's get the lid out of the way. Oops. Well, the first thing we notice is this one here. Oh, look how slack that is. Is that supposed to be that one? I think that's supposed to be a whole lot tighter. Possible to get that off there. There we go. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be like for like, but look at the difference there. A lot slacker than the one that I've bought. Let's just leave that there for now, because obviously we need to get in and find out where the big one's sitting. Having a closer look, well, without a doubt this is obviously the motor, and the elastic band goes from underneath there and then goes over there, and there's some wheels underneath that it needs to get to. From unscrewing it, this side has come loose, and so is this one, you know, from the screws from underneath, which is fine. And then it seems that there's a screw here, another one here, so I'll just undo these and jump back. Okay, so you end up with a couple of screws about that big. There we go. Whoa! Of course I drop it on camera. Right, this bottom left bit though, there's a black wire, which is obviously an earthing wire back round to here. So remember to put that back in place when you screw it back all back down again. Let's see if we can wobble this off now. Okay, so there's obviously a bunch of wires to the, well, basically the loading and the saving heads, or writing heads, aren't they? The reading and writing heads, that's what they're called. Right, so some wires here I've pulled up. They've obviously put a dab of resin or glue or something on here to try to hold them in these pegs, but you can break them away after all these years. All these wires here are going back round to this PCB, so be very careful, because obviously you don't want to rip or bend wires too much. Let's see what we've got underneath here. And there we go, there's the big elastic band. So it goes around this little one, this medium sized one, and then this even bigger one, and look how slack that is. Well, I'm saying that, but let's find out. So carefully pull that off. So look at these ones. This one's like soft and meh. Whereas this seems like it's going to be a tighter fit. But one thing I want to do is wipe these down, these wheels. So if there's any grease or slime or anything that's built up on them. And while I'm under here, I want to clean up this dust a fair bit. I'm not saying it's going to be spotless, because I'm not unscrewing it all, I'm not going to give it a bath. I just want to make sure it's not got an awful lot of dust hanging around. Maybe let's see if we can take out this mechanism, because this could do with a clean as well. I'm not so sure that comes out so easy. Obviously I don't really want to ruin it for good. I'll have a look at that as well while I'm cleaning about. Okay, after lots of Q-tips and IPA and kitchen paper and so on, got rid of an awful lot of the dust that was on here, but as I said, I haven't given this a bath. It's not as if it's all gone, but it's an awful lot better than it was. So let's just get the rubber bands onto where they're supposed to go. So that over there. Oops. Trying to make sure that we don't put a twist into the elastic band. So let's start off with the smaller wheel and then run this around the larger one and over the medium sized wheel. Doesn't seem to be any twists in there, it seems to be nice and happy the way it is there. Carefully put this back over, because as I said, we still don't want to ruin any of the wires that are over here. Seems to be a tie that seems to have come undone at some point. Right, we've lined that up with the peg at the back here. Can't really see it through the wires, but there is a peg there, and then there's the screw hole for the screw that comes underneath, and same again for this side, and then of course there's the one that we have to worry about for the earth on this side. Before we get all that going though, let's mess around and get this elastic band on. So that comes below, and there's two ridges on this white peg that you can see down. You'll see it when I tip it up for a moment, and then we stretch that across, again trying not to actually bend or twist the elastic band. There we go. Doesn't to be any twist there. There's this bit of fluff here that will get off. Sadly I don't have any grease or anything I can put on these spindles or these cogs, so we'll just try to make sure there isn't dust here while we put tapes in and everything like that. I mean, look, just moving that round, fair bit of dust on there. I have cleaned the heads once before and they should be fine still, so I'm leaving them alone, as in it's not broke, don't fix it. There seems to be some dust hiding here as well. Right. So before I put it all back together again, I want to plug it in and make sure it actually turns on. Putting the tape in though, make sure that it's a tape that you're not too worried about if it all messes up. So again, let's press play. Dial's going around, tape's going around. Seems to be fine, quite frankly. needles dancing a little bit with the volume. Be very careful though. As I said, you don't want to be touching all this over here. Turn the volume up a little bit. You can see the needle dancing better now. So that's a wonderful Spectrum program loading in, like it would be if it was all connected up. Let's rewind the tape. Should always rewind your tapes, people, always. And if you're sending tapes to people through eBay and everything, and you've got a tape deck, rewind it, because then at least it makes it look like you've looked after it. So again, it's unplugged from the wall. Never mess around with screwdrivers and things when things are plugged in, unless you really know what you're doing. And I can't even pretend that I do. But first, let's push these wires back down into these little pegs that they were at the bottom here. 4 wires, there we go. And there's another 4 wires on that side, so keeps it neat and out of the way. And let's line up what I believe to be this earth wire. Or at least keeps a connection between there and here, and it doesn't do anything else. So all I can imagine is it's to help keep, you know, so that the potential is the same. Oh, I'm sure people out there can explain to me exactly what's what. Don't crush the wires. That one goes in easy enough, making sure that it's not in the way of the case when you put it down. So fold it out of the way, push it out of the way. And then the other screw was up here, wasn't it? As always, just as you start, make it go backwards first so that it falls into place and you don't start a whole new screw hole. So this time, let's get the lid on. So let's get that. I've been arguing with this, trying to get the lid back on again. Basically, there's lots of holes at the back that need to line up to the sockets. That's a given. The speaker, make sure that's completely flat. And then also with the slider, make sure that the slider is the left hand side of the black peg, that's for the slider, is parallel to the writing at the bottom here, this TW14. Line up the case, squeeze like this over the back, that's the sockets popped into place. And now move this ever so slightly by pushing down until you can feel that you've got it. You might have to do it a couple of times. And you can lift it up just a little bit to see if you've actually moved the slider, because obviously if you haven't, you've not got it. Everything's to place. It's nice and done now. I've got the slider in. You can see it's a bit fiddly, but turn it over. Put all the screws back in again. Okay, so we've got everything screwed back down again. We need to get the sliders on, so here's your little slider for the top one. Just leave it to the left and then that pushes down over the top of that. And you can hear it clicking along. And then with this one, the slope should go up the box, because you can see there's a slight slope. It should go upwards. Push down. That's just a push button. So let's give it some power again, making sure it's still turned off. Because you've had it upside down and everything like that, it might be turned on. Turned on. Volume, you can see that we're actually adjusting, and it makes the needle jump because there's a bit of a hiss as it does it. Tape's going in. Eject's perfectly fine. Rewound, it's all the way. Fast forward works. Rewind works. We don't need to check save right now, but that will work as well. Let's press play. Bit of volume. We can actually monitor it actually. We can slide it across. There we go. There we go. Perfectly fine. So that was easy enough. Not fantastically easy, because it's a bit fiddly, but it was easy enough. That's the first time I've done that to this style of tape deck. I hope that you found that interesting and can do it yourself now. As always, happy gaming.